Are you coming or what?
Hi. Welcome to another movie plot. Spoilers ahead. The maiden voyage of the luxury cruise ship the Argonautica is taking place over the South China Sea. Headed by owner Simon Canton, who always dreamt of owning a floating casino. A shifty-looking Lady Trillian St. James stalks Captain Atherton around the ballroom floor, before finally bumping into him and slinking off outside, having pickpocketed his wallet. She takes his security clearance and anything else she can find, then hears a strange roar in the distance. Assuming it was just the storm, she heads to the security room where she picks her way inside. Using the captain's pass, she gains entry to the Argonautica's vault. But before having time to steal anything, she is caught by the owner and captain. After slapping her around a bit and taking back Atherton's keycard, they throw her in the brig. This time she picked Canton's wallet, and being that their brig is also the larder, she makes herself at home and eats what she can. An unseen saboteur in the security room uses a virus to disable the Argo's navigation and communications.
What's happening here?
While Atherton and Canton try to discover the cause of the failure, a seaman warns them of something approaching. Coming 30 knots straight from beneath them, it crashes into the hull, leaving the Argo dead in the water and sending passengers flying, knocking out Trillian with some vegetables and shaking loose a speedboat. As the passengers begin to run around trampling each other, a scared lady flees into the bathroom and sits on the toilet, quickly being sucked into the Sullage system by an unseen creature. A short ways away, Captain for hire John Finnegan is on another job with his crew. His first mate Layla does all the heavy lifting while Finn sits around playing games. But his mechanic Joey Pantucci has been failing to keep their radar functioning. The team has been hired by mercenary Hanover to take his crew of soldiers like Mason across the South China Sea to an undisclosed rendezvous. Finn has been chosen for his no-questions attitude towards jobs, saying that if the money is there, he don't care. Hanover's mercs consist of T-Ray, Vivo, Mamuli, Billy, and Mulligan. Joey sneaks past them and sees just how unstable they all are, before searching their cargo to find they're carrying a dozen torpedoes. Vivo catches Joey snooping around, so the mercs all begin to kick the shit out of him. Finn hears this all on the radio but needs convincing from Layla before he does anything about it. Threatening the mercs with a spear gun, Finn tells them to leave Joey alone, but they try to start a vote for Joey's life, so Finn makes sure his words are heard. After a bit of a standoff, Hanover can see Finn isn't bluffing, and has Vivo release Joey to return back upstairs. As Layla stitches her boyfriend up, he tells Finn there's enough torpedoes to sink an aircraft carrier, and they second guess his whole no questions philosophy.
What kind of life philosophy is that, man?
Just as the mercs attach a torpedo launcher to the deck, the radar goes down. They suddenly crash straight into the Argo speedboat, piercing the hull of Finn's boat and sending the passengers into shambles. Layla announces to everyone that she has spotted a cruise ship off in the distance, and as soon as Finn and Joey plan to go aboard in search of some fuel, the mercenaries take over. Approaching the Argo, Hanover says that his inside man has cut communications but doesn't know why the ship wouldn't be moving. The group boards with grappling hooks, leaving Layla to repair the boat and Billy to watch her. The mercs are planning on emptying the vault, but the entire ballroom is abandoned, leaving them stunned and confused while also finding traces of blood.
We got blood.
They search around the Argo some more while assuming someone already beat them to the job. T-Ray and Mamuli take Finn and Joey to the machine shop to fix the boat, while the rest go to the bridge in search of passengers, still not finding any bodies on the way. Back on Finn's boat, Layla's in the middle of repairs when finally seeing the first dead passenger. Before being able to warn Billy, she is grabbed from behind and pulled to her death.
Chick with the muscle!
In the machine shop, T-Ray hears a noise and goes to check it out, leaving Mamuli to keep an eye on the pair. After a jump scare with some cables, T-Ray comes across something underwater that grabs him and drags him under, killing him. During this time, Trillian wakes up having survived, and jams a key into some electrics to escape her cell. She goes straight back to the vault, crossing paths with Hanover and his men. When Vivo takes Canton's keycard from her, gaining access to the vault, he is struck in the head by Canton and mistakenly killed. A group of survivors hiding in the vault is then cut down by Mulligan, leaving just Captain Atherton and Canton alive, and allowing Trillian to slip away. As he apologizes, saying that he thought they were creatures trying to get in, Hanover is contacted by Mamuli and informed of T-Ray's death. But hears Mamuli's death over the radio as he is pulled underwater and dragged around the room. Hitting his head on every pole, he is eventually pulled under and consumed. The mercenaries head towards the machine shop, and Finn and Joey begin to run for dear life. Being chased by something ripping apart the floor, they intercept Trillian on the elevator before being caught up to by the mercs. Being that they somehow survived and his friends didn't, Mulligan blames them for the deaths, but is kneed in the balls as the elevator brake fails, and the whole group descend into the bowels of the Argo. They crash into a large hallway full of mutilated remains, and as the walls begin to get crushed from one end, they run and gun their way into the next room. Atherton tells them the Argo stopped suddenly and was swarmed with sea creatures, but they can't get a signal to call help. Finn deduces that Canton was the inside man since he seemed familiar with Hanover, but when pushed on how to get the radios working, he says they are fried to the core. He tells them the plan was to rob the vault and then use the torpedoes to sink the unprofitable Argo for the insurance. As the group argue and Finn and Trillian flirt, Joey gets dribbled on by a giant spiked tentacle monster. The squad open fire on the creature, sending it into spasms and causing it to spit out a freshly consumed Billy, still slowly decomposing. The group all flee in different directions, but when Finn gets cornered without his gun, Trillian comes from behind with the save. As the survivors regroup, Atherton is caught by one of the creatures and eventually swallowed whole, without any of the group being able to help. Canton theorizes that the creatures are an evolution of the Otto, which drain their victims of their bodily fluids and eject their skeletons. They all head back to Finn's boat together but come up on a flooded compartment. Having to go that way, Finn, Hanover and Mulligan go for a swim to scout ahead while the rest wait for a signal. Bailing on that idea when tentacles come crashing through behind them and straight through the hatch like it's nothing. They try to hold it off and succeed for a while, but one by one retreat into the water. Falling to the back, Mason is grabbed by a creature, but manages to detonate one of his grenades right by Joey. But Joey survives. Having regrouped in the kitchen, they argue about their plan, as Mulligan and Joey want to stay locked in the room until help arrives, while everyone else wants to try risk escaping. Just then one of the creatures makes their mind up for them, but quick spin Mulligan shoots the monster as the rest of the group run away. Mulligan scares it away through a vent but is ambushed and devoured by another. The group get herded to the bow of the ship, where they find a feeding ground of all the passengers' bloody skeletal remains. The creatures then break through the hull of the Argo, flooding the lower decks and separating the survivors. While running down a corridor, Hanover shoots Joey in the leg to distract the creatures, but Joey manages to escape into a laundry chute. A few make it outside, with Canton seeing an island in the distance, and Finn and Trillian making it to his boat. Inside the casino, a wounded Joey comes across Hanover and wants revenge, but sees that he is being devoured by one of the creatures, so he gives him a gun as mercy. Hanover then tries to shoot Joey in the back for no reason, but realizes that was his only bullet, and is consumed. Joey arrives back at the boat and hears from Finn that Layla is dead, and that the plan is to crash the boat into the Argonautica with all the torpedoes armed in order to kill the creatures. But Trillian returns to the Argo to locate a jet ski that they can use to reach the island, and is chased by Canton shooting flares at her. When he finally catches her and is about to flare her, Finn bursts through the front doors and scares him off. The creatures begin to smash through the main deck, and is revealed to be tentacles of a single deep-sea monster rather than separate entities. It grabs Finn up and shows the face of the Octolus. And when it takes a good look at the troublemaker, he shoots it in the eye, blinding it and freeing himself. When he gets back to his boat, he finds nothing left of Joey but some goo and hat, so he puts it in autopilot himself and returns to Trillian. Before they can get out through a hatch, the creature traps them inside and they begin racing around on the jet ski looking for another way. At this same time, Canton flees the Argo by jumping onto Finnegan's boat before it leaves and breaking his leg. He makes it to the helm but is unable to disable the autopilot, and it crashes into the side of the cruise, detonating the missiles and completely destroying both ships. Finn and Trillian manage to make it out just in time as the Octolus explodes. The two reach the island while the sun comes up and share a kiss, then reunite with Joey, who jumped overboard and swam to the island. As the three are catching their breath, a loud roar echoes from the island's jungle, and something big is shown knocking down the trees. And the movie ends. Deep Rising is a 1998 American action horror film written and directed by Stephen Sommers.
Funny.
Taking over a year in post-production while the team figured out how to do the various special effects for the monsters. Sommers wrote the script but was delighted every time Kevin J. O'Connor improvised a line.
You don't even know me.
This was the first of two collaborations between Stephen Sommers and composer Jerry Goldsmith.
And what are we laughing at?
The second was the 1999 film The Mummy. Thank you for watching. Subscribe for more.
To the maiden voyage of the Argonautica!
Check with the muscles.